Hey everyone, it's December 21st, and that means that if today's your birthday, you share with serial killer Larry Eyler, known as the Highway Murderer, who killed at least 21 victims in the early 1980s, and that is him right over there. Eyler was born in Indiana in 1952, the youngest of 4 children, but when he was 3, his mother divorced his abusive alcoholic father. Often pawned off on babysitters or even older siblings who were just children themselves, he lacked any decent supervision, and his mother married and divorced 3 other men, each of whom was emotionally and or physically abusive towards the children. He was sent to a home for unruly boys in 1963, where he underwent psychological testing that showed he had a fear of abandonment, so his mother sent him away to a Catholic home for boys for 6 months. As he reached puberty, he realized he was gay and dropped out of school as a senior, working odd jobs before earning a GED and enrolling in college, though he never graduated. He hid from his family and friends that he was gay and didn't know how to accept this part of himself, since due to his upbringing, he was also very homophobic. But he became a fixture in the Indianapolis gay scene, where unfortunately for dozens of other men, he acted out violently. In 1978, Eyler was arrested for handcuffing and stabbing a 19-year-old man after he rebuffed his advancers and just paid $43 in court costs after a friend with whom he lived made a settlement offer of $2,500 to his victim. In 1981, he began a long-term relationship with a married man living with him, his wife, and children in a messy arrangement. He paid his share of the rent by working in a liquor store and by painting houses. Eyler began picking up and attacking men in October of 1982, putting them in restraints after plying them with drugs and alcohol, then carrying out various sadomasochistic fantasies before stabbing them to death. His first victim was a 21-year-old who actually survived the attack, but the next 21 men and boys weren't so lucky. He killed 7 victims to finish off the year and continued his actions in 1983, and the gay community was understandably on edge with so many in the area turning up dead. 12 men had been murdered by June, with the last few victims being mutilated after they were killed. In September, a pickup truck was spotted parked on the side of the highway by an Indiana state trooper with 2 men walking into a row of trees that bordered the road. One seemed to have his hands tied, so the officer approached. Eyler identified himself, and his companion told the policeman that he had been propositioned and then bound. A bloody knife was found in the vehicle, and later analysis showed the stains were a match for a previous murder victim. But while authorities were investigating Eyler and his ties to the murders, he was still a free man and continued to kill. He sued the Lake County Sheriff's Office for harassment, claiming their constant surveillance was causing him psychological harm. Eyler's claim was dismissed, and he was arrested for murder on his way out of the courtroom. But a pretrial motion excluded most of the evidence found, since the police had botched their investigation by failing to abide by rules surrounding probable cause. Many more men were killed until a janitor discovered the remains of the 15-year-old victim in the trash near Eyler's apartment in 1984. He was again arrested, and this time the evidence was able to be used, with Eyler tried and convicted of murder, being sentenced to death. But by that time, he had already contracted AIDS, which was thought to be a death sentence itself in the 1980s. In an attempt to get off death row, he accused the man who paid off a stabbing victim back in 1978 of being an accomplice to his murders and testified against him in 1991. But when Eyler asserted his Fifth Amendment right when questioned about his role in 15 other murders, the case collapsed and the man was acquitted, with the jury believing that Eyler's accusations were made in retaliation for the man testifying at his trial. Eyler died in prison in 1994 from complications due to AIDS after having confessed to 21 murders in all, though investigators believe he killed at least 3 other men in addition to those cases. The married lover with whom he lived also died from complications due to AIDS back in 1990. If this is your birthday, I hope you have a great day. Leave me a comment so I can wish you a happy birthday. If you know someone whose birthday it is today, send them this video so they can find out all about their birthday twin. And to Larry Eyler, I say, happy birthday, you bastard.